It all began on a seemingly ordinary morning when Amanda, a student known for her eccentric behavior, brought cupcakes for the class. Amanda was a creative girl, always looking for ways to stand out. She spent the morning handing out the cupcakes with a smile, and the class, excited by the surprise, began eating without suspecting anything. At first, everyone was delighted by Amanda's gesture. The cupcakes were creatively decorated with vibrant colors and eye-catching toppings. Some students even took pictures and posted them on social media, praising Amanda's generosity. However, murmurs quickly arose that something was strange about the cupcakes. Some students noticed a different taste, while others began to feel unwell, experiencing nausea and stomach pains. Discomfort and surprise grew as more students reported feeling strange after eating the cupcakes. The teacher, Mrs. Martins, concerned, decided to halt the class to understand what was happening. She asked everyone to stop eating the cupcakes and call the school nurse. Amanda, on the other hand, seemed confused by her classmates' reactions and claimed that the cupcakes were perfectly safe. While waiting for the nurse, students began to speculate about what could be wrong with the cupcakes. Some suggested that Amanda might have used spoiled ingredients, while others feared she had added something on purpose. The tension in the classroom was palpable, with everyone wondering what was really in the cupcakes. When the nurse arrived, she quickly began assessing the students who felt unwell. Meanwhile, a group of curious students decided to investigate on their own. They found Amanda in the hallway and started questioning her about the ingredients she used. Amanda, visibly nervous, admitted she had added a special ingredient to make them more interesting. She refused to say exactly what it was, but her behavior only increased the suspicions. The truth came out during the break. One of the curious students, Lucas, managed to convince Amanda to confess. She revealed that she had put some kind of energy powder in the cupcakes, thinking it would make them more fun. Amanda had no idea the ingredient could cause adverse reactions. When the news spread, there was a mixture of outrage and shock. The students felt betrayed by someone they considered a friend. The school administration was immediately informed. Amanda was called to the principal's office, where she had to explain her actions. Her parents were contacted and called to the school to discuss the consequences. Amanda was suspended for a week and required to attend counseling sessions to understand the gravity of her actions. The cupcake incident left a deep mark on the school. The administration implemented new policies to ensure that homemade food was not distributed without proper supervision. Additionally, lectures and workshops on food safety and responsibility were held. Students became more cautious about what they ate and about their classmates' actions. For Amanda, the incident was a painful lesson. She lost the trust of many peers and had to work hard to rebuild her reputation. However, with time and support from teachers and counselors, she managed to learn from her mistakes and redeem herself. The class, in turn, became more united and aware of the consequences of their actions. Amanda's behavior sparked a broader discussion about responsibility and safety in school, and everyone learned the importance of thinking about the consequences before acting. If you like following stories, reports, and surprising revelations seen on Reddit, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Story 2. The annual sports trip was one of the most anticipated events for the students. This year, the football team, coached by Jason, was chosen for a special trip to the beach. Everyone was excited, especially Mike, one of the team's most dedicated players. The day of the trip arrived, and excitement was in the air. The students boarded the bus, ready for a day full of fun and sports activities. Jason, the coach, was known for being laid back and friendly with the students, but sometimes this meant he wasn't the best at enforcing rules and ensuring safety. During the trip, he allowed students to bring electronic devices and do as they pleased as long as they didn't cause trouble. When they arrived at the beach, Jason quickly got distracted talking to other teachers and chaperones, leaving the students free to explore on their own. Mike and his friends ran to the water, eager to surf the waves. The weather was perfect, the sun shining brightly, and the sound of the waves crashing on the shore created a paradise-like setting. They were having so much fun that they lost track of time and distance from the shore. Meanwhile, Jason was busy chatting with other adults and didn't notice the group had drifted dangerously far out. The tide started to rise, and the waves became stronger. Mike, who was further out than the others, got caught in a rip current. He tried to swim back, but the force of the water was too great. His friends shouted for help but were too far away to do anything. In the midst of the chaos, one of Mike's friends managed to get back to the beach and ran to alert Jason. When Jason finally realized what was happening, he rushed into the water, but it was too late. Lifeguards were called, but it took time for them to arrive and locate Mike. When they finally pulled him from the water, he was unconscious. An ambulance was called immediately, and Mike was rushed to the hospital. The atmosphere of joy and fun was replaced by somber silence and worry. At the hospital, the news came as a shock. Mike was paralyzed from the waist down. The emotional impact was devastating. The students, who had been so excited about the trip, were now in shock and sadness. Jason felt overwhelming guilt for not paying more attention. The school administration was immediately notified. An internal investigation was launched to understand how a promising trip turned into a tragedy. Mike's parents were devastated. His mother, in tears, confronted Jason, demanding answers and accountability. The local media quickly picked up the story, and the incident became front-page news, sparking heated debates about safety in school activities and the responsibility of coaches and teachers. Jason was placed on administrative leave while the investigation continued, and there was growing public pressure for him to be fired. The school implemented drastic changes in its policies for trips and sports events. All future events would be strictly supervised, and student safety became the top priority. Psychological support sessions were offered to all affected students, and the school community rallied around Mike and his family, offering emotional and financial support to help with his recovery and adaptation to his new reality. For Mike, the following days were an emotional roller coaster. He faced the harsh reality of his new condition, but with the support of friends, family, and counselors, began to find the strength to move forward. The school community organized fundraising events to help with medical costs and necessary adaptations. There was a wave of solidarity that brought out the best in those around Mike. Despite the initial shock and pain, the school learned valuable lessons about responsibility and safety. The incident was a painful but necessary reminder that life can change in an instant, and that it is crucial always to be vigilant regarding the safety and well-being of students. The tragedy united the school in a way no one expected, and everyone committed to ensuring that something like this would never happen again. Story 3. The school bathroom was a place where students often gathered between classes to chat and relax for a few minutes. However, on a Monday morning, students were greeted with a shocking and revolting scene. The walls and mirrors were covered in filth, stains, and offensive graffiti. Sarah, a student known for her rebellious attitude, was quickly identified as the main suspect. That morning, as students began entering the bathroom and seeing the mess, shock and indignation spread. A murmur of astonishment went through the hallway, and soon the whole school was talking about the act of vandalism. The school administration was notified immediately, and an investigation began. Security cameras were reviewed, and witnesses were interviewed to find out who was responsible for the destruction. Sarah, a girl who always had issues with authority, was seen leaving the bathroom shortly before the mess was discovered. She was taken to the principal's office, where she initially denied any involvement, but the evidence against her was overwhelming. Confronted with the security camera footage and her classmates' testimonies, Sarah eventually confessed but justified her actions as an act of rebellion against the school system, which she claimed oppressed and treated her unfairly. The school decided to take severe action against Sarah. She was suspended for 2 weeks and had to pay for the damages. Additionally, she was required to attend counseling sessions to address her behavior problems. The school's decision sparked debates among students and parents. Some believed the punishment was fair and necessary to maintain order, while others thought it was excessive and that the school should have tried to understand Sarah's motives better. Among the students, opinions were divided. Some thought Sarah had gone too far and deserved severe punishment. Others, especially her close friends, believed she was going through a tough time and that the school should have shown more compassion. The school's social media pages were flooded with posts of support and criticism of the administration's decision, reflecting the split opinions. Meanwhile, Sarah faced the consequences of her actions. At home, her parents were disappointed and frustrated with her behavior. They grounded her and forbade her from going out with friends until she showed significant improvement. However, they also decided to support her, helping her understand the impact of her actions and working with the school to ensure she received the necessary support. The disciplinary measures also involved Sarah in various restorative activities, including cleaning and restoring the bathroom she vandalized. She spent many afternoons painting the walls and cleaning the stains, a task that initially seemed punitive, but eventually became a process of reflection and learning for her. During these moments, she had the opportunity to think about her actions and the reasons behind her destructive behavior. While Sarah served her punishment, the school implemented awareness programs about vandalism and respect for public property. Lectures were organized to discuss the negative impacts of such actions and promote a more positive and respectful school environment. Students were encouraged to express their frustrations constructively and seek help when needed. Sarah began attending these lectures and gradually started seeing things from a new perspective. She realized her behavior not only affected the school, but also harmed her peers and her own reputation. With the support of her parents and the school counselor, she started working on her internal issues and developing healthier ways to deal with her emotions and frustrations. Over time, Sarah showed signs of change. She became more involved in school activities and looked for ways to contribute positively to the school community. Although there were still challenges and moments of relapse, she was on the right path to becoming a more responsible and aware person. The school, in turn, continued to offer support and guidance, recognizing that discipline and compassion go hand in hand. Sarah's story served as a powerful example for the entire school. It demonstrated the importance of addressing problems seriously, but also with a touch of humanity and understanding. The vandalism incident, though disturbing, ended up being a catalyst for positive changes in Sarah's life and the school community as a whole. Story 4. Mr. Anderson was a highly respected and beloved science teacher at the school. Always available to help students, he had won several awards for his innovative teaching methods. However, behind his impeccable image, there were dark secrets that no one could have imagined. It all started to unravel when a rumor began circulating among the students that Mr. Anderson was involved in something illegal. At first, no one took it seriously, but curiosity grew. A group of students decided to investigate on their own, creating a secret group to discuss the clues they found. They scoured his social media and listened closely to anything that might confirm the rumors. One day, during a science class, Mr. Anderson seemed more nervous than usual. He abruptly interrupted the lesson and left the room without explanation. The students exchanged suspicious looks. At that moment, everyone knew something was wrong. The situation became even more tense when a group of police officers was seen entering the school. A few minutes later, Mr. Anderson was escorted out of the classroom in front of all the students, handcuffed. Shock and disbelief filled the air. The news quickly spread throughout the school. The rumor was that Mr. Anderson had brought a minor into the country illegally and was keeping her in improper conditions. This caused a wave of indignation among students and parents who never imagined something so serious could happen at the school. The school decided to suspend Mr. Anderson temporarily while investigations were underway. During this period, the atmosphere at the school was one of pure tension. The students couldn't stop talking about what happened, and parents demanded answers from the administration. Many wanted to know how a teacher with such a history had managed to get a job at the school. While Mr. Anderson was suspended, students tried to adjust to the changes. The science classes were taken over by another teacher, but the shadow of the scandal hung over the classroom. Some students who had a closer relationship with Mr. Anderson were devastated, feeling betrayed by someone they considered a mentor. Others, who had already harbored suspicions about him, felt a mix of relief and justice. The school administration organized meetings with parents to explain the situation and the measures being taken. During one of these meetings, the principal, Mrs. Thompson, gave an emotional speech, assuring that the safety and well-being of the students were the school's top priority. She also announced the implementation of stricter measures for hiring teachers to prevent something similar from happening in the future. Meanwhile, the investigations continued. It was discovered that Mr. Anderson had used false documents to bring the minor into the country and was keeping her in deplorable conditions at his home. The revelation of these details further increased the indignation and sadness within the school community. It was difficult for many students to reconcile the image of the dedicated science teacher with that of the man responsible for such terrible acts. After a few weeks, the school received news that Mr. Anderson had been released on bail. This caused a new wave of shock and anger. Many parents threatened to withdraw their children from the school if he was reinstated. In response, Mrs. Thompson organized an assembly to hear the concerns of parents and students. During the assembly, several voices were raised. Parents, students, and teachers expressed their indignation and concern. Some students cried as they recalled how Mr. Anderson had inspired them academically, while others shared stories that now seemed like warning signs they had ignored. The tension in the room was palpable, and everyone awaited the school's decision anxiously. At the end of the assembly, Mrs. Thompson announced that Mr. Anderson would not return to the school. He would be fired and lose his teaching license, preventing him from working as a teacher again. The decision was met with a mix of relief and sadness. Relief because justice seemed to be served, but sadness because trust had been deeply shaken. Following Mr. Anderson's dismissal, the school implemented new psychological support programs to help students cope with the situation. Counselors were available to talk to students who felt most affected by the incident. Additionally, lectures on safety and ethics were held to reinforce the importance of reporting inappropriate behavior and protecting one another. The impact of the scandal reverberated through the school community for a long time. The school, once known for its excellent faculty and welcoming environment, now had a stain on its reputation. However, over time, the community began to recover. Students learned to be more vigilant and trust their instincts. Teachers became more transparent in their interactions and reinforced the importance of maintaining clear professional boundaries. In the middle of the following semester, the school decided to hold an open meeting for all students and parents. The goal was to discuss the new policies and hear the community's concerns. It was a significant event, as it represented an important step in restoring trust. The meeting began with a speech by Mrs. Thompson, reaffirming the school's commitment to the safety and well-being of all students. She spoke about the measures implemented, such as more rigorous background checks for all staff and the introduction of an anonymous channel for reporting inappropriate behavior. During the question-and-answer session, several parents stood up to express their concerns and ask questions. One parent asked how the school was handling the emotional recovery of the students. Mrs. Thompson explained that new counselors had been hired and group sessions were available for any student who wanted to discuss their feelings. Another mother asked about teacher training in ethics and professional behavior. Mrs. Thompson responded that all teachers now underwent intensive training before starting to teach, and that refresher sessions would be held annually. Some students also found the courage to speak. A senior student, Jessica, shared how the situation made her realize the importance of being aware of warning signs and trusting her instincts. She thanked the school for the support and resources provided during the difficult period. The event ended with a sense of unity and hope. Although the path to full recovery was still long, the school community was determined to move forward. The school would continue to be a place of learning, safety, and respect, where students could thrive without fear of abuse or neglect. Mr. Anderson's story, though painful, served as a catalyst for positive changes at the school. The community became more united, vigilant, and determined to protect its members. The students, now more aware and prepared, would carry these lessons with them for the rest of their lives, knowing that justice and safety must always be a priority. Story 5. The school was shaken by an incident of violence that quickly went viral on social media. Tom, a quiet and reserved student, was brutally attacked by Alex, a classmate known for his aggressive behavior. The attack was recorded by another student and shared online, causing an immediate and widespread reaction. In the video, Alex is seen attacking Tom without any apparent provocation, while other students watch and, in some cases, encourage the fight. The recording went viral, reaching parents and the school administration. The reaction was swift and severe. Alex was temporarily suspended and faced legal charges for assault. The school, in turn, took measures to support Tom, offering him emotional and psychological support. Teachers and counselors met with Tom and his family to ensure he felt safe and supported. The incident triggered a series of discussions about school violence and bullying. The school organized assemblies and workshops to educate students on the devastating effects of violence and the importance of intervening safely when they witness such behaviors. Additionally, anti-bullying policies were reinforced, and the presence of monitors in the hallways and common areas was increased. The school community was shaken, but also united in the determination to prevent future incidents. Parents and students collaborated to create a safer and more welcoming environment. Tom, despite the initial trauma, found strength in the support he received and began to recover gradually. He became an active advocate against bullying, sharing his story and encouraging others to report aggressive behavior. The episode served as a turning point for the school, which adopted a more proactive stance in preventing violence and supporting bullying victims. Tom's experience was a powerful reminder of the need for a united and vigilant school community, committed to the safety and well-being of all students. Story 6. Behavior at school events. During a school event, several students were caught consuming inappropriate substances. The news spread quickly through the school, causing a mix of shock and concern among teachers, parents, and other students. The event was supposed to be a celebration, but it was marred by the inappropriate behavior of a small group. When the school administration learned of the incident, they took immediate action to identify those involved and understand what had happened. An emergency meeting was convened with the principals, counselors, and parents of the students involved. The investigation revealed that the students had brought the substances from outside the school and consumed them during the event without teachers or monitors noticing. The consequences were severe. The main culprits were expelled, while others received temporary suspensions and had to participate in rehabilitation and awareness programs. The school's response was swift and firm. Disciplinary measures were applied, and the administration reinforced the rules for future school events. Parents were informed and called in to discuss the incident and the measures that would be taken to prevent similar issues in the future. The impact of the incident was profound. The school community became more alert, and many students began to reflect on their choices and the impact of their actions. The school organized lectures and workshops on the risks and consequences of consuming inappropriate substances, aiming to educate students and prevent future problems. Students who were not directly involved but affected by the incident also received emotional and psychological support. The school made a concerted effort to ensure everyone felt safe and supported. The situation served as a wake-up call for the school community about the importance of vigilance and ongoing education. The administration, teachers, and parents united to create a safer and healthier environment for the students. This episode highlighted the need for open and honest communication about the challenges young people face and the best ways to support them. Story 7. One ordinary afternoon, the school was shocked by a piece of news. Mr. Johnson, one of the computer science teachers, was caught watching inappropriate content in the computer lab. The incident occurred during a class when a student accidentally saw what was on the teacher's screen and quickly informed the administration. The reaction was immediate. Mr. Johnson was summoned to the principal's office, and after a brief investigation, he was fired. The news spread quickly among students and teachers, causing a mix of shock and indignation. Many wondered how someone in a position of authority could commit such an inappropriate act. The school acted swiftly to address the repercussions. Besides firing Mr. Johnson, the administration decided to review and reinforce its technology use policies. New guidelines were implemented to ensure that all teachers and students use technological resources appropriately and safely. The incident's impact was significant. Trust between students, parents, and the school administration was shaken, and many demanded stricter measures to ensure something like this wouldn't happen again. The school organized meetings with parents to discuss the new policies and assure them that all necessary precautions were being taken. Students were also affected. Many began to question the integrity of other teachers and felt distrustful regarding the use of technology in school. The administration worked hard to restore trust, promoting an environment of transparency and open communication. The incident served as a stark reminder of the importance of responsibility and ethical use of technology. The school reinforced the need for all community members to maintain exemplary behavior and respect established guidelines. Although trust had been shaken, the school committed to learning from the incident and strengthening its policies and practices to ensure a safe and respectable environment for everyone. If you enjoyed following this story, don't forget to leave a like. And if you want to follow more stories, reports, and surprising revelations seen on Reddit, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. It will be a pleasure to have you with us.